When you do this, number one, you get a look into the brain of your employee. You are starting to see how your employee thinks, and you can figure out if they're actually good at making decisions and if they're competent mentally to be in the level that they're in. And number two, that employee gets a lot of practice.
Me and my friend Sean Paree, who you may know from the My First Million podcast, we hosted a live workshop on delegation and hiring. It was a super insightful podcast. We discussed how we hire, how we attract talent, how we delegate, how we manage other people, and how we build businesses basically without working 80, 90 hours a week, which I think is a really underrated and critical part of all of this that we play. So if you want to learn more about what we're talking about here, you can visit supportshepherd.com, which was the sponsor of this workshop. But I hope you enjoy. We're going to play it right now for you.
What's your approach to employee walks in, they got questions or problems? How do you train them to not just be creating more work for you?
I mean, there's two levels of delegation. I say level number one is you're telling somebody what to do. You're giving them a task. Level number two is you need somebody to make decisions in your company. Okay. Those are two very different things. And level number one is the easiest way. It's where everybody should start. Get an employee and tell them what to do. And when they have questions or when they have to make decisions, they bring those decisions to you. I know business owners who have built $1 million a year plus businesses where every single question comes to them. They haven't delegated any management. They haven't delegated any decisions. Of course, they have themselves a job. Of course, their business is not that valuable. They don't have a business where they can leave for a month and the business can thrive on without them, but they, can do really well. Level two is you have to train your employees how to make decisions. How do you do that? So you just laid out the scenario where an employee walks into my office and they're going to ask me a question or they have a problem. And I like to use something called, it's a parable that I've read in many business books. Dave Ramsey talks about it. Many others do. The monkey on the back. Okay. An employee is in your office and they instantly have a problem. They have a problem. They have a decision to make. All of a sudden that problem, that decision is a monkey on their back. Their natural instinct is to, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go to the boss. I'm going to go to Sean or I'm going to go to Nick. I'm going to go in their office and I'm going to tell Nick my problem and see if he can help me. So my employee walks into my office, or metaphorically, they go into my Slack channel or they call me, whatever it might be, and they tell me their problem. As soon as they do that, the monkey jumps off of their back. The monkey is the problem. The monkey is the decision. It jumps off of their back and onto my desk. It's now my problem. The natural instinct of a business owner is to say, okay, go ahead, get out of here. I'll solve this. I'll take care of this. I will put this monkey back in its cage and I will make this decision. It's very uncomfortable for a business owner when they care about their business, when they don't trust their employees, when they're not a very good delegator, to tell everybody in their whole company, hey, back off. I got this. Because it's easier to handle it myself. I'm better at it. I can do it. I know how to make the best decisions. I'm good at this. Back off. I'll do it. That is not the way to do it. And what happens is all day employees come in, they call you, they walk in your office, and the monkey gets off their back and jumps onto your desk. Gets off their back and jumps on your desk. 5 minutes later, another employee comes, boom, monkey on your desk. And what you end with at the end of the day is an entire office filled with monkeys. Every problem in the whole business has come directly to you, and it's your job to to figure it out. And what you have is a ton of problems, no solutions, and you are the bottleneck of your business. Every single decision goes through you. Every single problem is your responsibility. And you have yourself a job, a super stressful job, and you don't actually own a company. Now, the way to get past this and the way to do it is when an employee walks into my office, they know that they're going to get this by now, and they come to me with a problem or they come to me with a question. I never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, solve that for them and tell them to leave the monkey in my desk. My employee, every single time, is walking out of my office with that monkey, whether I tell them how to solve the problem or they figure it out themselves. Now, at first, I was just telling them how to solve the problem and talking them through it, and they would walk out with their monkey and they would go solve it. Now, I just respond with questions. Sean, you come in. Hey, Nick, we got a customer at one of our storage units. They can't get the door open. We don't know. I don't know what to do. Okay, Sean, what do you think that we should do here? Like, what's our goal? Our goal is to rent units. Nick, our goal is to rent units. Okay, what would you do? And I don't know. And now listen, two things happen here when you do this. Number one, you get a look into the brain of your employee. You are starting to see how your employee thinks, and you can figure out if they're actually good at making decisions and if they're competent mentally to be in the level that they're in. And number two, that employee gets a lot of practice. That employee gets practice thinking for themselves. It's, again, delegation, decision-making. It's a muscle. They got to flex it. Your employees are as needy as you allow them to become. That's another saying that I have. Your employee is as needy as you allow them to become. So if every time they walk in your office, you're gladly accepting their monkeys, telling them to get away, then you're going to end up with more monkeys because that's what you're training them to do. So I am every single time now, I'm saying, hey, how would you think about this? Oh, well, Nick, turns out the facility's 72% occupancy. This is how a good interaction will go with an employee that I know is pretty competent. Okay, customer's locked out of the unit. We don't know what to do. Okay, what's our goal here? Well, Nick, our goal is to rent units. Okay, how would you solve the problem? Oh, well, actually, probably, the facility is only 72% occupied, so there's another 10 by 10 around the corner. I can just tell them to walk over there and rent that one. And I'll be like, boom, get out of my office, go, done. And the good employees know not to come back because Nick's not going to help them.
Yeah.
Big news, guys. I created a free PDF that details my method on how I analyze a self-storage facility and figure out what it's worth. Give me a pen, the back of a napkin, and a couple metrics, and I can figure out about what the property is going to be worth to me. If you want to download this PDF, click in the show notes, the first link, and you can give me your email address, and you get a email right away with a 4-page PDF that outlines exactly how I think about underwriting or giving my initial analysis on a self-storage facility. Again, click the link in the show notes, and you're going to get that document for free.
This episode of The Sweaty Startup is brought to you by Jobber. And Jobber is a software that allows service business owners to run the back end of their business with ease. You can get quote request forms right inside the app on your website from customers. You can send out quotes to customers with a couple clicks of a button. You can set up all of your automatic email templates. You can send bills. You can get paid. You can stay organized. You can even schedule your employees. Now, GetJobber is unbelievable, and my brother uses it to basically run his lawn care company without any admin work. And I just highly recommend this service. Visit getjobber.com/sweaty for a 20% discount and a free trial. I think if you run a service business, it is the best way to appear professional to the customers and also be incredibly efficient on your end. Now, one more time, it's getjobber.com/sweaty.